As the hands are played, more stories unravel in the plot of the lives of the fated fates. Let us see what was dealt in the second chapter of our story.
Okay, so right after I danced with Balthazar and asked him to help us with Verano, he wheeled in a coffin with Verano inside it. That might be my fault, I don't know. But whatever, Lady Seraphima then bought us after Balthazar started the bidding. I, didn't know we were for sale. And I guess Seraphima is related to one, or Connie somehow. Also, apparently, Issa and Maud both think Arathia is possessing Sham.
Yeah, who knows? We got out of that fundraiser as quickly as we could, but not before Casimir told us Fiara, his sister and apparently the bull of the Nairmont Society, wanted to meet with us. Great. He picked us up the next morning, and when we arrived, Fiara said so many things that were wild and quite frankly crazy, like...
Well, it wasn't crazy. She just explained what she wanted. Fiara secretly bid on us and had higher ranking than Seraphima, so we had to do what she wanted first. And then she shifted her appearance into Phoebe, which was a shock. But it didn't stop there. She revealed she wanted to kill the fair father, to eliminate the sun.
I know this is the Fated Fates recap, but let me include something else that they are missing. Fiara explained to them all that these Dawnwood diamonds, like the Dark Root, all had trespasser gods from the War of the God tied around them. Her idea was that if she could release all of the gods, maybe it would weaken the god of the sun, so that she could then kill him, turning off the sun to find our enemies. But then, of course, would use one of the diamonds to wish him back once the enemies were defeated. Since the Dawnwood diamonds have the power of any wish with no consequence. Unlimited power, almost. You might be asking yourself why Balthazar doesn't help us, but let's just say he doesn't believe us, and has anger towards the Berg much larger than you or my sister.
Over 300 years ago, the Damartus city in the wilds, Ponte, was destroyed by religious zealots dedicated to Zaharis, and the siblings were the only survivors, and cursed, she thought, to be vampires. So Fiara thought that if she could eliminate the sun, she could weed out the corruption in Zabraria and find out who was responsible for the fall of Ponte.
So, all in all, she wanted us to help her kill the sun god Zaharis, and implied that she would kill us if we got in her way or betray her in any way. So we eventually agreed to help.
But then she had a secret conversation with Shay, which Fiara then summarized for the rest of us. I guess Fiara had hired Codex through Sham to steal the Darkroot diamond from the Grove, but Arathia used it to bind herself to a trespasser god Kessak, which was not the original plan. Codex was upset, Shay was upset, Issa was upset, but like Wash said, we agreed.
The Damartas and Seraphima gave us a keep in the third. It's nice, but Codex says the bathroom has ghosts in it, since Issa saw her dead partner in there or something. I think his name was Guy, and she happened to leave the part of that vision being connected to a vision from the trespasser god Othamir, the Scarred Warlord.
And if she had shared with us, maybe we could have avoided the horrible events in the Midnora Pass. Fiara sent us to get information on a beast or something, and we fought a chimera, met Rush, Willow, and Hal, and then got sidetracked when Issa was literally possessed by the god of hatred and violence and killed Wash. Like, fully killed Wash. Connie shot her, and then I kind of exploded in Wild Magic in a different way than it normally does, though. And I brought both of them back? Like, I reversed time?
Yeah, and from what I've heard, everyone succumbed to the aura of hatred from Othamir, which resulted in a lot of fighting. Willow died. I got the diamond, and we wished Othamir behind the Divine Gate, but I actually wanted to wish Balthazar dead.
Okay, that's enough. We walked with Rush to this town where the beast was last seen, and then we actually saw it, and Rush made Hal teleport us away, back to the Pale White Castle Keep. It was an awkward evening, and then Codex got kidnapped, and then Wash got kidnapped, both by Balthazar. He just wanted to chat about her magic. He knew what it was, apparently, a hexaleap, this primordial being created by Yofet, the earthen vine and goddess of nature, to create then pit her out. But for some reason, Codex hadn't pitted out. As Balthazar and Codex confabbed, Wash was being drained of his celestial blood by Celia.
My brother's other vampire spawn had been collecting blood for him this entire time. So not only did he have the blood Verana acquired for him at the graduation massacres, but also they discovered that one of his spawn, Cranar, was behind the rat infestation in Janerta, in which more blood was being procured for an ultimate plan Balthazar was preparing for, as of course were his other spawn Bryson, Valentine, and nameless others.
As I've always said, knowledge is power.
I don't know if you have ever said that. Balthazar made Codex and Wash attend a dinner where he massacred about 30 people and then collected their blood into a chalice covered in runes. He told Codex she could make a wish with the blood, but she didn't want to. Balthazar wished Willow back and then kicked them out of the mansion because Codex refused to work with him. The rest of us found them at that exact moment and walked them back to the keep. Fiara and Casimir led a round-table discussion to determine our next moves.
When talking with Codex, we discovered that Balthazar had been storing blood across Zabraria somewhere, assumedly the undercity of the Berg. Due to his myriad of connections, my sister and I were unsure if Seraphima or Arathia, who according to one had dealings in blood rituals and the undead respectively, were involved in this plot with Balthazar, but we couldn't be sure.
We decided on going to Merkside to investigate what Balthazar described as blood vats. Oh, and Fiara realized that she had wished her and her siblings into vampires outside of Ponte on a bird bath covered in runes, just like the runes on Balthazar's chalice.
Yeah, to be honest, I had a shit time.
Yeah, during the time we prepped to go and find the vats, we did some shopping for the Pale White Castle Keep. Terrence got a magic lantern from some cute kobold wizard named Gug. Connie got some alcohol and sweets before meeting this time being named Malachite that told her the future, and I found a shop that sold magical sending spells, and so went to Balthazar to ask if maybe he'd reconsider working together, just so I could get more information on his plan, okay? I wasn't gonna join the bad guy, obviously.
As expected, the trip to the Merkside turned out to be life-threatening and not at all low-profile recon. We got into a fight with undead guarding the vat of blood, and as soon as we escaped that clusterfuck, we had a run-in with another trespasser god. One actually knew there was another diamond in the river down in Merkside, but didn't tell us, which I'm not complaining about because that'd be hypocritical. One couldn't release the goddess of pleasure and beauty, but Wash could. All it took was a kiss with Codex, or so I heard. I wasn't allowed down there.
Who, let's not forget, was drowning because she was succumbing to the power of the goddess of pleasure and beauty.
Okay, can you blame us? But yeah, Wash kissed me. I didn't have a lot of time to process that information, though, and then Connie told me about how she accidentally got her brother killed and her other sibling really hurt in the past. She was debating whether or not to use the new diamond's wish to bring them back, but Fiara convinced her otherwise. We then ended up having quite the discussion at the keep with the DeMartas about next moves. I told them that Balthazar had responded to my message and invited us to the summit to chat. We decided we'd use the diamond from the Lady of Want to reverse whatever his plans were, like plotting out the sun over Zabraria or whatever, but we had to weaken him first. Fiara told Issa and Shay that they had this religious book that could, they thought, maybe nullify Balthazar if he was weaker.
So we blindly trusted them and walked into pretty much the battle of our lives, and Balthazar covered the sun almost immediately, making everything more difficult, and I had to hold my own against 2 vampires because Issa bailed for some random fucking reason.
It wasn't random. I saw my undead fiance, Guy, so I went over to him to see if there was any of him left, but I didn't really get a chance to do that because Shay threw daggers into his eyes, and he died in front of me again.
Issa, I didn't know it was your...
I know, it's fine. It helped me find Balthazar because remnants of Othamir were still inside me or something. I don't know. I kicked him off the roof into the fray on the ground.
Balthazar was pissed. He tried to kill Issa, but Codex counterspelled his fireball. And then he tried to kill all of us with this destructive wave. But Codex's Hexaleap exploded out of a chest and wrapped its tail around all of us. It saved our lives, but she took all of that damage and fell immediately. So Wash, out of desperation, grabbed onto Balthazar and sent a radiant energy through his body. And that killed Wash. Then Connie grabbed the diamond ring around her finger and wished that her friends could see the sun again. We watched as Wash and Codex came to, and then I went back to absolutely demolishing Bryson and Celia.
I landed a hit on Balthazar, and it seemed to be the last one needed for Fiara to start her attempt at nullifying his ability, and it worked, thank the gods. But the Vol Multitude arrived and accused Fiara, the bull of the Neramot Society, of being a vampire. Which of course was true, and as they closed in, Issa and one tried to get in between the Demartas and the Vol Multitude, but Fiara stopped them, declared us the heroes, and vanished into flames. Issa thinks they're dead, just like the Vol Multitude, but I like to think they escaped.
If you want more specific details on this chapter, check out this playlist to get episode-by-episode recaps from every member of the Fated Fates.